it is better to be a slow payer than a non-payer. Now, let me explain. But before I get to that point, let me acknowledge that a lot of us are currently facing a lot of financial distress. And this is as a result of the inflation going off the roof, food prices they're just going up and up, energy crisis, load shedding. It's really putting a damper on the economy. Businesses are suffering. So a lot of household budgets right now are under severe pressure. And with that said, it's easy for one's finances to get out of control. And then you find that you cannot manage, your finances on a monthly basis, and you cannot meet your financial obligations towards your creditors from that point on. And now you start getting calls from creditors, you start getting those emails, those SMSs. It can really irritate you to a point where you just decide, I'm not going to take this anymore. I'm going to avoid them. And then, of course, what's the next step from that point on is that we stop paying our monthly repayments. And that is a big problem from that point, because then it affects our credit profiles. And when our credit profiles are affected, then it means that job prospects becomes a problem. It means accessing credit in order to invest and buying properties, it becomes a problem. So my take is that you need to be able to, first of all, if you see that you are struggling from your month to month budgets, and you're meeting your financial obligations, is that you go and be able to renegotiate with your creditors. Tell them the situation, tell them that you're under stress, and if you can be able to renegotiate your repayment at the end of the day, so then be able to go for a lower repayment amount while you're still fixing yourself, so that when everything is now better, then you can go back to your normal repayment amount that was agreed initially when you took up that loan agreement or that credit facility, whatever the case might be. But you have to be able to communicate with your creditors. And I know that when you communicate, you might then obviously go via the call center, and through that call center, the call center guys might tell you, no, this is going to affect you, and they can discourage you to then be able to pay less. But please don't take no for an answer, right? Rather say, I want to talk to your manager, or let me go talk to somebody high up that can be able to understand what I'm going through. Because at the end of the day, it's about you meeting your financial obligations. And if now you're not coming right, you might then be discouraged, and then you just, I'm not coming party of this thing, and I'm going to stop paying. And that is the worst thing that you can ever do. Now, coming up from a big debt, because remember now, if you're not paying, this debt then becomes just more and more and more, and then it just becomes discouraging to then be able to even start paying and finishing it off. So please make sure that you are in a position to go back and renegotiate a lower installment with your creditors. A lot of your creditors will definitely understand, especially if you can plead your case and tell them that you're currently experiencing difficulties with your finances, and of course giving them valid reasons around it. But please, guys, don't just sit back and not pay. That debt is going to balloon and balloon to a point where you just you can't cover it anymore, and it affects so many things, especially if you are still actively in the market, you're looking for a job, or you're looking for a better job. You want to get into investments, you want to buy property, for example, and you want to use other people's money, so you need to go to the bank. You need to be able to be credit healthy, and through all of that they're now dependent on how you manage your monthly obligations towards your creditors. So it's absolutely critical that you do that. So it's better to be a slow payer than a non-payer. I hope this definitely assists somebody to be able to start re-looking at things, and please make sure that you contact your creditors.